Hello, my name is Sally and today I have my lovely model Rachel with me. I'm going to do a full makeover on Rachel, but what we're going to also do is sort of hone in a little bit on one of Rachel's concerns, which is sort of slightly dark circles. And I know that that is a problem that loads and loads of ladies have as we get older for various reasons. So as we get older, the skin is thinner around the eyes, there's less collagen, so the blood vessels sort of show through a little bit more. You can also have, if you've got thyroid problems, that can also help with sort of creating dark circles under the eyes, allergies, obviously lack of sleep, which when it's really hot, I know it's really hard to sleep and that doesn't help. So all sorts of reasons give you some dark circles. So we're going to, when we get to that area, we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about how to overcome that. Okay, so the first thing is to make sure that your eye area is really well hydrated. Look Fabulous Forever have an amazing eye cream, which I'm going to show you, which is called Night Revive Eye Cream. So I know Rachel uses this at night. A tiny amount is all you need on your ring finger, just literally around the orbital bone, and let it do its work. It's got hyaluronic acid in it, it's got vitamins A, C, E, vitamin B3, and it's really also got some colour correcting pigments which are particularly good for dark circles. So if you use this every night, it will also help with your dark circles. And it's good to have really hydrated eyes when you're going to put concealer on, because it means the concealer will work better and won't sit in any fine lines. So Rachel has already moisturised, haven't you? And we put a bit of lip balm on earlier as well. So what I'm going to do first is to use our lovely primer. So Smooth Like Silk Face Prime. And I'm going to put this on a little bit on my hand, a couple of pumps on my hand. Pop this on all over. This product is amazing to use underneath your foundation or Light Look Beauty Balm. It does two things. It smooths out any fine lines and open pores. And as we get older, our skin becomes a little bit more like blotting paper. So foundation often just sort of sinks into the skin and goes a little bit patchy. But this product stops foundation from doing that, and it means that your foundation goes onto a really lovely smooth base and lasts all day, way into the night. Okay. So if you have really dark circles, or also if you've got really sort of large age spots, sunspots areas, a really good product to use is the Colour Balance Neutralizer in Peach. Because if you can imagine the colour wheel, peach is sort of pretty much opposite the sort of the bluey base, so that it will counterbalance any blueness, any sort of brown darkness, and it just takes it away. So with this product, I like to put it on at this stage. I then put my foundation or beauty balm on. Then if I need a little bit more, I put a little bit more on, then concealer. It does look a little bit orangey, so don't panic when you put it on. Just open your eyes for me, Rich. I'm just going to put a little bit in this sort of area. And I'm now going to use my concealer brush, number 4, just to blend that in. I'm sort of stippling the product into the skin. So I put a little bit on now. I might put a bit more on after I've put Rachel's Light Look Beauty Balm on. So it's summertime, and Rachel's got a lovely skin. She's got a little bit of a tan from a holiday. So we're going to use Light Look Beauty Balm in the shade 01, which is a really lovely, it's a little bit more than a tinted moisturiser. So it gives coverage, but it's slightly dewy and it's quite light, isn't it? Light in texture. So I'm going to put a little bit on my hand. So you can either put it on with your fingers and then blend it with a brush, or I quite like to just put it on with a brush. It's totally up to you how you do this. So I'm going to pop it in the middle section first, and then I'm going to just Using the brush, just blend it in and buff it in really well. So I'm going to just put a tiny bit more Colour Balance Neutraliser in Peach over the top. Obviously with the green one, you can only do it underneath foundation, but with the peach one, if you need a little bit of extra, then it's fine to do it on top of your Light Lip Beauty Balm as well. Just put a tiny bit more. So what I'm now going to do is to go over this little area with concealer. And I'm using the Creamy Concealer number 2. And I'm going to use 2 brushes to do this. Certain areas I like to use obviously the concealer brush, but if you've got smaller areas to do, I quite like to use the lip brush number 5 as well. So they both work really well. I'm putting it on the inner corner, which is also where there is a little bit of darkness. And I'm going to put it where there is darkness, because light colours bring forward. If you've got very, very puffy eyes, it's a slightly different issue, and you don't want to put a light concealer on the puffy bit because that will bring that forward. A couple of things you can do with puffy eyes is sleep with yourself elevated a little bit. Have a couple of pillows and sleep upright. You can use cold compresses on the puffy area as well. That really does help. But if you've got really puffy eyes, put the concealer, the lighter concealer, in the darker, deeper indented bit, which will bring that forward, which will have the appearance then of flattening slightly the puffiness. I'm taking my ring finger and tapping so that the warmth of my finger will melt the concealer into the foundation, or into the Light Look Beauty Balm. Okay, what I'm now going to do is just to set the whole face with a little bit of translucent powder. This is a wonderful powder because it's so fine that it doesn't sit in lines, fine lines, like a lot of powders do. So I'm going to put it all over, particularly where I have concealed. And then around the eyes, I'm actually going to use my eyeshadow brush just look right up for me, please. Just to basically set that. A little tip with the powder is I like to put a little bit on the outer corners of the eyes before I start my eyeshadow application process, because sometimes you might find you get a little bit of spillage with eyeshadow. It will then go onto this bit and you can dust it away with your big fat powder brush at the end. The other option is you hold a cotton pad up there while you do them, but this is just another option that you can use. What I'm going to do now is to use the Smooth Out Eye Prime over Rachel's lids before I put the eyeshadow on. So again, you can either put it on with your fingers or with, I like to sometimes use the concealer brush just to blend this in. This is a great product. Again, it does 2 things. It will disguise any little veins that are showing through. As we get older, the lids become thinner and you start to see little fine veins, so it will just take those away so that the eyeshadow that you use will be a true colour. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, if you suffer from creasing of eyeshadow as the day goes on, this will stop that problem. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Particularly if the weather's hot. I use it every day, but if you're going out for a special occasion, you definitely do not want any creasing of your eyeshadow. So we're now going to start on the eyeshadow application. Now, if you've got very, very dark circles under the eyes, it's probably best not to go for heavy greys. So I'm going to use the Cool Blue palette today, but I'm actually just going to make it very simple and go for Bluebell all over Rachel's eye. And then I'm going to use Midnight Blue on the top as an eyeliner. I might just use a little bit of Bluebell underneath because, again, I don't want anything too heavy. You don't want a heavy dark line underneath if you've got dark shadows, because that will also draw the attention the wrong way. So we're going to go for Bluebell, which is a really pretty colour, all over Rachel's lid. So you don't want to go really, really dark and heavy with eyeshadow if you suffer from very dark circles. Keep it relatively light. Rachel has stunning blue eyes, and this will really show off her blue eyes. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my wedge brush number 8 with the darkest colour, which is Midnight Blue. which is this one, which again is a really nice colour. And I'm going to put that along the top of Rachel's lashes, which will make her lashes look fuller, make her eyes sort of lifted slightly, and define her eyes really well. And this is a soft, really lovely soft effect. So even if you use an eyeliner, this is a really nice thing to do over the eyeliner, just to soften it. So I'm making it slightly thicker at the far edge and lifting it slightly. And I'm just pressing the brush right into the base of Rachel's lashes, which will just make them look really lovely and thick. I tend to start on the outer edge because I like to lift the outer edge up and then press it along into the middle, but you might want to start and work your way out, whatever is easier for you. How you hold the brush makes a difference here as well. You can see I've got the outer corner that way, and the same with the top. I have the outer corner, if you just close your eyes again, that way, so it lifts it up. So to finish the look, before we do brows, I'm going to use Lithe Lash Mascara in Navy. This is a really pretty colour, and it's going to go beautifully with your eyes and you're wearing today, Rachel. So if you just look slightly down, lovely. So we have just curled Rachel's lashes with an eyelash curler as well, which makes a big difference to opening up the eyes. Just wiggling the product through the lashes. If you do this yourself, it's quite nice to sort of slightly blink onto the mascara wand. That helps to just get the product right onto the base of your lashes. Just slightly blink as you're doing it. So I'm just going to dust off the powder and just sweep away any little spillage bits. Okay, so I'm now going to just fill in just a couple of gaps. Rachel's got lovely dark brows, but I'm just grooming them into place. I'm going to use just a tiny bit of Bring Back Brow Shape in the brown. Give it a shake. And this is a lovely fine brush that you can just use to fill in individual hairs. Rachel doesn't need very much because she's got lovely dark brows, but I'm just putting a tiny bit on just to demonstrate how you can just use this product. And you can see that the brows here go upwards, so you can literally paint upwards in this area as well. So what I now do is just go back and just put a tiny bit more concealer if I need to, just to cover if you've gone over and you've made any blotches, just conceal over. So make sure that everything is really nice and neat before we do a little bit of colour on the face. So I'm going to use Peach Cream Blusher on Rachel, which is good if you are cool or if you're warm. Actually, you can use this one. So I'm just going to take a little bit onto my... So I'm sort of starting near the middle, but bringing it upwards. So from the sort of centre, but slightly left of centre, upwards in a sort of like a teardrop shape. And although this has got a little peach in it, it's got some pink in it too. And I just think it's going to be really pretty with Rachel's colouring. And I'm going to take the blusher brush, number 2, and I'm just going to blend it upwards and outwards. I like to put a little bit of blusher on, then do the lips, and then go back and reassess whether we need any more. So Rachel has just got back from holiday, so I'm going to just prolong her tanned look with a tiny bit of beautiful enduring summer bronze, which looks scarier than it comes out. It's very, very subtle, but I'm just going to give just a sweep of bronzer. You can see I'm also going to put just a little bit on Rachel's neck. So I'm now going to use Never Feather Lip Prime on Rachel, just to stop any feathering and bleeding of lipstick. This is an amazing product. Secret to do is to use it on the outer edge, not all over the lips. Just going to use a little bit on the outer edge of Rachel's lips. And just let that dry before you put your lipstick on. Okay, so we're now going to use Tulip Pink, which is a really pretty pink. And I'm going to apply it with the lip brush number 5. Just take up product onto my lip brush. Do that. This is a really nice because it's got a little bit of brightness to it, which again is a distraction away from tired eyes. If you've got tired eyes, wear a slightly brighter lipstick maybe, just to distract. And just stretch slightly for me, lovely. Thank you, Rachel. You might also want to have some lovely earrings and accessories just to draw away attention from tired eyes. This is a lovely colour and it suits a lot of people. And just to finish off the look, I'm going to use Gorgeous Gloss Lip Shine, the clear one, just to give a little bit of texture. So I'm going to put it not all over, but just sort of in the centre. Okay, so that has finished the makeover with Rachel, and I'm just going to take her clips out, which always looks better when the clips are out. This is where. So I'm just going to do a quick recap. So the most important thing is to keep the skin really well hydrated, using the night cream at night, drinking lots of water. Obviously, if you get puffiness, sleeping sort of upright. The other thing is with your eyes is to use the peach corrective neutralizer and use that before you put your Light Look Beauty Balm on, stippling it in, and then also to put your Light Look Beauty Balm on. If you need a little bit more, put it on afterwards, then use the lovely concealer and really stipple that concealer into the areas that are dark. If you've got puffiness, don't put a light concealer on the puffiness because that will bring that forward too much. We then set it with a little bit of loose translucent powder, and then keeping the eyes fairly light, don't go too heavy. Certainly don't use very dark eyeliner underneath, just use your darker colour on the top, and keep everything quite light and fresh. And then use the distraction, use a lovely lip colour, lovely blusher colour, to draw the eyes away. And remember that people aren't looking at dark circles, everyone's got dark circles, but they're looking at the overall look. So always hold your mirror at arm's length when you've finished to sort of see the overall effect. But you look beautiful, so thank you for being an amazing model. Thank you.